It's the second round, and only the strongest have survived.
Do you recall not long ago when you would walk on the sidewalk?
Tonight, the reward is a district championship trophy and one step closer to Ford Field.
But the night was warm, we were bold and young.
The game of the week has shootout written all over it as Comstock Park looks for its 5th district championship in the last 6 years, while Forest Hills Eastern looks to add decoration to its already historic season. In the Blitz battle, Hudsonville and Rockford play for Division I district hardware at the TAD, just as they did each of the last 2 years. The home team hoping for a different result this time. The Northern Lights lit the sky on Tuesday. Friday Night Lights have the honor tonight. Watch out! Blitz is coming at you. Well, just 3 months ago, it would have seemed unlikely that Forest Hills Eastern would be hosting the season finale of the Blitz, but thanks to a historic season and a little assist from a holiday craft show at Mona Shores, that's exactly what happened. Good evening and welcome to a Week 11 and season finale of the Blitz. I'm Jason Hutton, joined as always by Brett Bakita. We're live here at Forest Hills Eastern, a big night of high school football, and we've got a lot of help tonight. Mitch Fick and Evan Beach are joining us back in the studio. We'll hear from them in just a little bit. And of course, we got some big help tonight. Head coach of the Forest Hills Northern, Ryan Oshnock, joining us here on site as well. Coach, thanks a lot for being here.
Thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure.
Well, we'll start tonight with the game of the week. Comstock Park in a very familiar situation, 6th straight season in a district final. And the only thing that kept the Panthers from 5 straight district titles last year was a great comeback from Whitehall, who trailed by 23 points in that game a season ago. But the Comstock Park with a chance to put all that behind them tonight, playing at Forest Hills Eastern. The Hawks winning the first playoff game in school history last week, a chance for the first district title tonight. Third quarter, Comstock Park up 6-0. They go to Ontario Smith to make it 13-0.
And that was a huge play right here, getting all the way down to the goal line right there. It was a tough play, like nice little jet sweep. He was able to score right there.
But the Hawks come back. Jack Clark with the screen to Jape Signeski.
Yeah, and you know what? Sipneski is one of those players that's a playmaker for them. And notice Forest Hills Eastern getting into the end zone there to kind of break through.
13-7 at the end of the third. Early fourth, Clark to Ryan Knight. We've seen that a little bit this year.
Ryan Knight's been one of the best receivers all year, making big plays in big games.
Hawks with the first lead of the game at 14-13. Then later, fourth, they hand to Caden Peters for a little cushion.
Yeah, 30 carries, 141 yards. When the chips were down, there were 2 times that they went for it on 4th down inside the 5-yard line and didn't score before this. Peters was the steadying force.
And then Comstock Park with a chance, but that FHE defense stepped up.
One of the biggest plays of the game with the interception on the wheel route to the sideline. You can see the celebration on the sidelines there as well.
And the dream season for the Hawks continues. They win 21-13 over Comstock Park. What a night for Forest Hills Eastern. Not only have they already set the school record for wins in a season, won the first conference title in football, first playoff game, now the first district championship, a 21-13 win. Caden Peters, 31 carries, 140 yards, and a touchdown. Pat Naughton and Montario Smith had the touchdowns for Comstock Park in what turned out to be their final high school games. A great season for Comstock Park, but Forest Hills Eastern will march on. They'll move on to play Chippewa Hills right back here at Forest Hills Eastern next week. And guys, when we think about what has happened here in this game tonight, that Forest Hills Eastern defense, I thought this was going to be a high-scoring game, but that wasn't it.
Well, it was one of those that as the game went on, and Coach, you can talk more about this, I was really impressed with Forest Hills Eastern and their composure. I mean, this is a team that didn't have the experience nod. Remember we talked about that, guys, in our 5 and 6 o'clock hits. That would be Comstock Park traditionally getting to this point or beyond. Yet they kept their composure, and in the second half, they really changed some things up and got some pressure to Naughton. He wasn't the same quarterback.
It really was a tale of both halves, because early on, Comstock Park was able to move the football early, but in the second half with those hits on the quarterback there, you know, those hits, they just add up and add up and add up. And as time wore on, you know, the passes weren't there. He wasn't completing them like he was in the first half.
And Coach, you said something to me before the game. You said Jack Clark is tough, and I thought he really showed that tonight.
He did. I mean, he's a gamer. I mean, he's a guy that every high school football coach would love love to have on his team. And he's just a guy, you give him a little bit of time, he'll find a way to get it in there to his receivers.
What do you think of Clark tonight, Brad?
I was impressed because I'd only seen him with the Forest Hills Northern game, and I thought Forest Hills Northern got some pressure on him like Eastern was able to do to Pat Naughton in the second half, and it was a different quarterback. We're going to talk with Eddie Ostapo when we get a chance, and Coach, we talked about so important in the offenses they run, not only the tempo, but getting the quarterback some completions, getting some confidence with the wide receivers.
Well, let's bring in Eddie Ostapo, the head coach of Forest Hills Eastern right now. Coach, congratulations. You know, we've kind of talked about this a lot this season for you guys. It's been a historic season, right? Most wins in school history, first league title. Now you win a district championship. What does this mean to you and the program?
Well, you know, as a coach, it means a lot more to me to see my kids have that success. I mean, they're the ones that put in all the time in the off season, and this was their goal. This is for our seniors, it's their senior year. So I'm just really happy for them that they're experiencing success from all the hard work they put in.
And Eddie, I want to ask you, and I know it's kind of ironic because we have the coach who beat you guys in week 9 on the set with us, but I hear coaches say a lot that you learn from your losses. You hadn't lost at that point. Take us through what happened that week to your team to now you're going to play in a regional final.
Well, it was a tough loss, but I really felt like we played well. We played hard. I mean, Northern's a great team. They got great players, too, and it's a great rivalry. You know, it could have went either way at the end, and, you know, we just fell a little bit short, but hats off to them. They made plays when they had to, and for our kids, it was really just about if we could play well against a really good team like Northern, we felt like going to the playoffs, that would give us some confidence to hopefully compete and make a run.
Coach, I thought you guys did a great job. Talk a little bit about in the first half offensively what you saw going into it.
Well, we thought we could run the ball on them. You know, our offensive line, you know, is pretty good size, and we got a pretty good running game all year. We wanted to try to keep the ball away from them. They have so many weapons, and we thought if we could just grind out and get first downs and move the chains, you know, that would kind of give them off rhythm a little bit. And we got some good drives. We got down in the red zone inside the 5, and just both times just couldn't quite finish. You know, we just felt like we were doing the right things. We just had to finish.
And you guys moved the ball in those first 2 drives of the game. You turned the ball over on downs inside the 5 both times. But your defense tonight, you told me yesterday at practice you thought your defense could do some things tonight, and they really did. How impressed were you, and how did that happen? Well,
we talked about it at halftime, too. I thought our defense did a great job in the first half. We bent a little bit. They got some plays. We knew they were going to try to get some things on us, and they had some players that were going to execute. We just thought we had to make them go the distance. Don't let them have the big plays. And we thought if we could do that, you know, for 4 quarters, that we'd have a chance to win in the end.
Eddie, they talk about program wins. You hear that a lot at the college level when coaches come into a new situation. Coming here, how big was in back-to-back weeks, South Christian and West Catholic, you knock them off, where everyone in the program, parents included, start to believe?
Yeah, those were big wins for us early in the year. We knew that those were going to be maybe a turning point for our season. Our kids were pretty focused on winning. You know, West Catholic has been a little bit of a rivalry for us, and obviously Dan does a great job over there with the tradition they've had. And we thought if we could go in and just really play well, that it would give us some confidence. And that was a game that really kind of was the starting point for our run, I thought.
I really thought as the game went on, you guys were able to slow down Naughton, the quarterback at Comstock Park. Can you talk about that a little bit and how you're able to do that?
Well, we talked a little bit about getting pressure on him. Maybe not just moving him off his spot a little bit and not letting him sit back there in the pocket and just kind of play 7-on-7 against us. So we wanted to bring some pressure, even though at times he beat us with it. We just thought through the course of 4 quarters, if we could just keep making him have to move and throw the ball maybe before he wanted to, that it would give our guys a chance at secondary. We missed a couple interceptions in the first half that we had right in our hands, and then obviously Chase had the big one down the sideline in the 4th quarter.
Coach, we really appreciate you joining us. Congratulations on the win, and good luck next week against Chippewa Hills.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate being here.
So Forest Hills Eastern's the winner, 21-13 over Comstock Park. They will be back here at home next week against Chippewa Hills, and we've got some more Division IV playoff games going on tonight in West Michigan. And for those highlights, we're going to send it back to the studio.
Yeah, Jason, a comparable situation with Unity Christian, a lot like Forest Hills Eastern. They hadn't won a playoff game until last year when they gave up a huge lead to Grand Rapids Catholic Central, but then finally hung on and got out of the first round with a 46-43 win. That game was at Grand Rapids Christian. Tonight, year and a week later, same 2 teams, same spot. They're playing for the district title. Crusaders up 14-7 here. They're going to pound it in with Parker Schulten, but they missed the extra point, so they only lead 20-7. Keep that in mind. 4th quarter, here come the Cougars. They won 9 straight coming in. Dom Forbes had been a big reason why. Spin move, not getting denied. Catholic Central now trails 20-14. $1:38 to go. Joe N's going to go up top to Asa Cooper for the touchdown, wide open. They get the extra point. They lead 21-20. 8 seconds left. UC gets down to the Catholic Central 9-yard line. Connor Hollemans, he was the kid that missed the extra point earlier. Redemption is spelled Holleman's. Unity Christian, their first ever district championship, 23-21. Catholic Central, heck of a year. They end it at 9-2.
One more from Division 4, Zeeland West hosting Benton Harbor. First quarter, Ducks strike first. Handoff to Tyler Thompson is good for the touchdown. 2-point makes it 8-zip Ducks. Still in the first, more Ducks. Another red zone handoff to Thompson. He's in, now 16-zip Ducks. You know, Mitch, we've heard about this story out of Benton Harbor. It's been a great one this year.
Best
the Tigers getting their best first playoff win last week, but not this week. Jeremy Burrell allows them to avoid the shutout with a touchdown, but too much Ducks. Darius Parise with the touchdown there. Ducks roll 62-8, the final. Well, now let's send it back out to our team at Forest Hills Eastern. The regional final next week will be Grand Rapids Catholic Central and Zeeland West.
Well, Evan, that's my fault on that one. It's actually going to be Unity Christian and Zeeland West. And I was going to say to you guys, we're only in the second highlight of the game before we have our first real upset here. Grams Catholic Central had won 9 straight games. They go down to Unity Christian. Brett, you said to me earlier this week, you can never count out a Craig Tibby coach team.
No, he's done a phenomenal job. They're a little bit of a quirky offense to prepare for. The Boss Twins have been fantastic. I saw them in the loss to West Catholic, and I know that was kind of a surprise for Unity Christian fans because they were rolling at that point. But 2 years in a row. And I guess I'm more surprised at Catholic Central a little bit because this team, their last loss was in week 1. They were the hottest team in the area.
Well, we were here for Forest Hills Eastern tonight, their first district championship in school history. Unity Christian got their first playoff win in school history last year against Catholic Central. Tonight they get their first district championship in school history against Catholic Central. And this time of year, Coach, special teams are huge, right? And Unity gets it done with a field goal.
Right at the end there. And, you know, it's tough preparing for teams like Unity Christian because they're able to hold on to the football for so long, and it really gets you out of a rhythm offensively. And Catholic Central, they're a rhythm offense. So, you know, you could see where that could happen.
And they'll play Zeeland West next week. We saw the Ducks roll. Benton Harbor's been a great story, what they've done and where they've come to win a playoff game. But Zeeland West is just that good. They beat Unity Christian pretty handily just 2 weeks ago. What can the Crusaders do to be more competitive next week?
You know, it's going to be tough, but, you know, again, if they're able to keep the football away from Zeeland West, I think that's the biggest thing you go in there and look at. Try to keep the Ducks offense off the field as long as you can.
The problem for Unity Christian is the fact that they play Zeeland West in the regular season regularly, so obviously John Shillito knows what to face. But I want to ask Ryan one more question. You know, everyone says this, and it's so unique, but from a guy who has to prepare for someone like John Shillito, I mean, he really only has, about a half dozen plays, but it's the blocking schemes that are the key.
It is, and he's the mastermind. I know it started with Coach Sigler at Belding High School back, or even when he was at Sheboygan, but, you know, everything looks the same, but up front, schematically, it's so much different. So you have to almost change your defense from week to week just to prepare for them. So that's the most difficult part, because every play looks the same, but up front, the schemes change.
Well, how about the OK Green? 3-0 last week. They have 2 wins already tonight that we've seen with Zeeland West and Unity Christian. And we are just getting started here on this very special Blitz finale live from Forest Hills Eastern High School. And coming up after the break, we'll check in on that other OK Green team in Division 2, Byron Center, as they are taking on Lowell tonight. Plus, Zeeland East went to East Grand Rapids tonight. The last time the Chicks played at Memorial Field, they lost by a toe, literally, in a regional final 5 years ago. We have highlights from the rematch just around the corner. And later in our Blitz battle, Hudsonville looking for a very unlikely three-peat, not only a 3rd consecutive district championship, but celebrating that title in Rockford for the 3rd straight year. We'll have those after the break.